The Detroit Lions just went all in and the NFL is scared. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Detroit Lions news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first story is the Lions playoffs dreams brighten as stars poised for returns. The Detroit Lions have battled through adversity all season, with injuries sidelining several of their key players. According to NFL's network Ian Rappaport, who appeared on NFL Game Day this morning, the Lions are set to receive a significant boost heading into the playoffs. 3 of their biggest stars, running back David Montgomery, linebacker Alex Anzalone, and defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, are on track to return during the postseason, potentially elevating Detroit's championship hopes. Running back David Montgomery suffered an MCL injury during the Lions' Week 15 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Initial reports suggested season-ending surgery, but Montgomery sought opinions from 3 top doctors, all of whom recommended rehabilitation over surgery. Now, Montgomery is now focused on a realistic return for the divisional round of the playoffs, just 1 month away. His physicality, ability to turn out tough yards, and knack for converting in critical short yardage situations has been integral to Detroit's offensive identity. Paired with breakout star Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery's return would restore the dynamic 1-2 punch that has propelled the Lions' rushing attack throughout the season. Linebacker Alex Anzalone broke his forearm during the Lions' Week 12 matchup and also the Jacksonville Jaguars, leaving a gaping hole in the heart of Detroit's defense. Known for his sideline-to-sideline range and playmaking instincts, Anzalone has an anchored defense this season as both a leader and a consistent performer. On top of this, when we also look further, the Lions expect Anzalone to be ready in time for the wildcard round, providing a timely boost to a defense that has struggled at times in his absence. His ability to read offenses, disrupt the passing game, and contribute to stopping them will be vital in the postseason. Defensive end Aiden Hutchinson has been out since Week 6, when he suffered a broken leg in the Lions matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. One of Detroit's brightest young stars, Hutchinson has been a cornerstone of the team's defensive front. While Hutchinson's timeline for recovery has kept him sidelined for much of the season, the second-year star has publicly expressed optimism about returning for the Super Bowl. Should the Lions make it, his presence would be monumental for Detroit's defense, not only for his disruptive ability, but also for his emotional lift he would bring to the locker room. The potential return of Montgomery, Anzalone, and Hutchinson's highlight Detroit's resilience in the face of adversity. Montgomery's power runnings, Anzalone's leadership, and Hutchinson's edge rushing ability make each player's comeback critical to the Lions' success. As the playoffs approach, these stars are returning to the lineup could help Detroit make a deep postseason run, bringing the franchise closer to its long-awaited championship aspirations. Lions fans have every reason to believe that their team has the pieces to compete with the NFL's best, especially if the stars align in the postseason. With 3 games remaining in the regular season, the Lions have to finish strong and stay healthy. The second story is the Detroit Lions are running out of time to sign the perfect free agent wide receiver. Now, the Detroit Lions improved their record continuously for the season over the weekend and have to work to do this, secure the NFC North title and the first round bye. Their Week 18 clash against the Vikings will likely determine the seeding in the NFC, and right now the Lions are actually favored to win the Super Bowl. Now, therefore, the Lions must take advantage of every small edge over these teams, including the free agent market. Detroit could turn into several available free agents to upgrade its wide receiver corps while preventing their rivals, namely the Chiefs, from strengthening their roster. One obvious name on the market is Odell Beckham Jr. The veteran pass catcher was released by the Miami Dolphins last week and wasn't claimed. He is still waiting for his next opportunity to land with a Super Bowl contender like he did with the Los Angeles Rams a few seasons ago. The Lions could certainly use another competent wideout, and Amon-Ra as continues to be one of the best receivers in the game, and Jameson Williams does enough. However, the rest of the WR rotation leaves plenty to be desired. Tim Patrick is a nice comeback story, but it's hard to trust as a WR3 deep in the postseason. Beckham wasn't good for the Dolphins this season, but didn't receive many opportunities. Last year with the Ravens, he put up 35 catches for 565 yards and 3 touchdowns and showed he can still be a dangerous deep ball threat. As important as strengthening their own offense, the Chiefs can't allow their rivals to add to their roster. The Chiefs could be interested in OBJ after wide receiver Justin Watson struggled immensely in Week 16. The Lions are so close to winning a Super Bowl as they have been in a very long time. They need to make sure they are not leaving any stone unturned. If taking a flyer on Beckham Jr. could give them a small edge over the opponents in the postseason, they should consider it greatly. So, when it comes to the Detroit Lions, they definitely do have a lot of things that they need to sort out, but finding someone in that wide receiver is definitely on the top of their list if they want a perfect chance at actually winning an NFL Super Bowl by the end of this. So, with week 17 just around the corner, we got some great bets for you, and a bet that we definitely do like on BetUS is none other than the Detroit Lions being the San Francisco 49ers. Now, when it comes to this website, BetUS, they do have the fastest payouts in the industry, and it's one of my favorite websites to use. Right now, they do have 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So we're going to be placing a bet for $100, total win $55.56, and we're going to be placing the bet, and just like that, we are good to go. And we got Detroit Lions beating the San Francisco 49ers. So definitely go check out BetUS, guys. 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So definitely go check them out, and let's get back into the video. The third story is the Detroit Lions actually have some competition for the most injured starters in the NFL. There is no question that at the very least, the Detroit Lions are one of the most injured teams in the NFL this season. We already know the Lions have the most players on injured reserve in total entering, certain weeks throughout the season, so it's certainly safe to call Detroit one of the most injured teams. But what about the number week 1 starters on injured reserve or out? Well, no surprise, the Lions led the NFL in that category with a whopping 31.8% of their opening day starters on the shelf. However, believe it or not, the Lions aren't alone in first place in that uncomfortable category. They actually tied with the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that also sports 31.8% of its week 1 starters either on injury reserve or out with an injury. It's unfathomable to think that any other team is having anything close to the injury issues the Lions have had. But here we are. Of course, the major difference is that Detroit have been able to overcome the issues while the Raiders clearly have not. That speaks to the culture the Lions have built, but more importantly, the roster and that general manager Brad Holmes has constructed. At the very least, the Raiders are lacking the talent necessary to thrive in the wake of their injuries. As the playoffs loom, the Lions are hoping to get back at least a few key players in running back David Montgomery and linebacker Alex Anzalone, and Montgomery is expected back by the divisional round, and Anzalone could make it back before that. If the Lions can make a deep playoff run, it's possible they could see cornerback Carlton Davis and edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson return. Davis has a shot to be back by the NFC Championship game based on his recovery timeline, and Hutchinson has said he's targeting the Super Bowl. But first things first, the Lions have to make it there before we can have that discussion. Detroit will first look to wrap up, the NFC North to the best of their ability. On top of this, Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell's reaction to the Eagles actually said a lot. Now, when it comes to during the post-game press conference on Sunday, December 22, Campbell was told that the Eagles were able to lose to the Commanders. Oh, they did? How much time is left? Why don't they just sit there and wait for this? He said with a big smile on his face after a laughter. Detroit Lions tight end Sam Laporta was also asked about the Eagles' loss. We're looking to execute and take care of the games ourselves, Laporta stated. If other people are helping us, all the power to them. We were looking to win these next 2 games and secure that 1 seed without all the other stuff. But I guess it's good that Washington won, since you're telling me. To reflect on what Laporta said, while the Lions are focused on winning out the season and not concentrating on what's going on to the other teams, it's difficult not to notice when one of the big competitors in your conference has a surprising loss. I can get pretty emotionally drained after these. Speaking about chasing the number 1 seed in the conference, Campbell was hesitant to elaborate on the goal, instead of choosing to stay in the moment. Campbell said that he didn't know if he could tap into like the players could right now, because I'm trying to recover from the game. I get pretty emotionally drained after these. I don't know what is exciting to be where we're at, and it really is, Campbell said. Like, to me, this is why you want to coach and play in this league. This is when your eyes get open, when competition is at its highest. People are breathing down your neck or chasing somebody, and you're at the top. Campbell continued on his positive note, stating that it just doesn't take or get any better, and that's what it's all about. Can it get frustrating? Can it get stressful? He added. Yeah, it gets all those. But also, it's a drug. It's the drug. This is what you live for. Look, Some can't, some can handle this. It's too much for them. Players, coaches, teams, it's just too much. But not our group. This is good stuff, man, and we're in the middle of it right now. Also during the press conference, Lions quarterback Jared Goff praised running back Jahmyr Gibbs, who served as a leading running back, stating, we always knew he could do it, and obviously he showed it today. I thought he ran great. So when it comes to the Detroit Lions, they definitely do have the right pieces in order to make this work, but it's just a matter of time to see the Detroit Lions seeing if they can pull it off when it starts to come into NFL playoff territory. This is where they really need to showcase what they are capable of doing and if they can do it at the most effective rate, which is what Detroit Lions fans want the most from them.